somebody having 73.8% of the total vote cast. So I don't know what you can call that one landslide or mudslide. But the truth is that a party that wants to win election must learn lesson of what it is to be united. And we don't go to a battlefront in a divided house and expect victory. It's very difficult. So I think some of our parties and the candidates to contest the future election, I think they have one or two lessons to learn from Ondo State. Having said that, when we are talking about vote buying, we all knew that it was going to happen, and there's no contestant that you will say not aware. And PDP, if PDP is accusing APC of vote buying, or APC is accusing people of vote buying, it's like a kettle calling pot black. I think so the two parties are least engaged in vote buying. So while some is giving 5,000, other is giving 10,000. Even in some areas, one is giving up to about 15,000. But no matter what, they all induced. Those are they all induced. So, but if I give, if somebody, I did you did not induce at all. Yes, you can say you can have a moral authority, and you should start condemning whoever that has induced. But if you have the capacity is 5,000, and my capacity is 10,000, so we all, I think it was the same game we all played. So and that's why you see other contestants having 1,000 votes, 4,000 votes, I think in the whole state. So, but by and large, the lesson is that the parties should know what they want, and again. Well, if Ondo people, I think, have collected money and have voted and are given to the ISD that they have 4 years to live with it. So when they are now complaining, we can only continue to analyze, I think, the essence of their complaints. But they've done what they think is right for them, and that's why democracy is the government of the people, for the people and the people. So the people have spoken, and we very clear and loud. Never happened. 73.8%. Even Akeredolu, you don't have that one about 8 years ago. Nobody had up to 73%. I think 17.8 so much. So, but they spoken, and we heard them, and let's see how the governor Iirsᴛ, I think, will be able to justify the confidence reposed in him. I think the trust of the people to better their lives and get things done properly. The state has suffered enough from inaction, I think, from the government. I think, yes, because Akeredolu for over a year did not govern effectively well, and then when he came, I think he was just like he didn't know maybe he was operating among enemies, but he was able to stabilize. So even I think when it's 10 years so far, it's 10 months so far, it's like doing something to win
the election.
So it's not that the governance has really started. It's just still trying to be Father Christmas. They're trying to please almost everybody, all sections, to which perhaps part of what gave him the victory. But we want to see him now in his true elements, and for the economic and everything in that state to develop. And we are stakeholders. Oᴑᴜᴜ is from that state. So Ondo must develop. So that's what I can say now.
Yes. Mr. Diemi. Before we leave this real quick, just a few minutes, let's talk about the pattern of reflections of some of the off-cycle elections. Well, the national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Alhaji, how did I skip that? Yeah, Abdullah Ganduje. He talked about the fact that the party is determined to make sure that they get as much state as they can get ahead of the 2027 elections. Now, On the 11th of November 2023, we had off-cycle elections in 3 states at the same time: Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. The PDP held Bayelsa.
Yes.
The PDP held Bayelsa down.
This is a demonstration of
And
Wirecast.
The PDP held. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Okay. I think we're having some issues with the connection. Let's try and reconnect with Mr. Miwa DM 0913-600-0410. Yes. Well, we started off with the Ondo conversation, just trying to wrap it up. And, the governorship candidate of the PDP had said he's going to go to court to challenge the legitimacy of the results that was, announced by INEC. If you look at the percentage, over 70% of the total vote cast was, how do I put it now, was given or I was declared for the governor. Yes, I think that's the perfect word. But hey, it is within the power of the right of every one of them to go to court to challenge whatever outcome of any election they're not exactly comfortable with, and there's little or nothing anyone could do to stop that. So the candidate of the party had, decided to go to court to challenge the outcome of the election, and let's see how they will be able to also do that. Let's take a very, very quick break. We'll come back in about a few seconds. Let's get something sorted. Stick with us.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Apologies, we just had to quickly put one or two things back, so let's get straight up into it. Hello, Mr. Adiemi.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we had some, little network disconnect, and then we had to bring you back. So I said, let's wrap up the Ondo conversation. The national chairman of the APC, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, had vowed to win as many states as they can ahead of the 2027 election. Now, in the last off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa, the PDP won Bayelsa, but the APC won Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, and they won Kogi State as well. His Excellency Governor Usman Ododo. There was a September 26th, 2024 off-cycle elections in Edo State. The APC won as against a PDP outgoing governor. Now, just a few days ago, there was an off-cycle election also in Ondo State, and the APC won. And this cycle would continue. There will also be off-cycle elections next year. Osun State will be in 2026 as we move into 2027. Does it worry you that we just may be going into the 2027 election almost on a one-party democracy?
I think it should not worry anybody now. In the sense that we are saying this because of what is happening. I think, as you rightly said, I think in Bayelsa, it was a PDP that won Bayelsa. And let's see how, I think in Nimo, I think the incumbent governor was a APC member. He was the chairman of the
Progressive Governors
Forum. Well, yes. And we see Ondo, it was APC before. And in Edo, we know how the battle was lost and won. And I can see a lot of people maybe afraid of what's going to happen. You know that I think next year or so, we are going to have an Anambra election. Right? So, and I don't know how anybody can put a bet on it that APC can win Anambra. You understand? So I don't. I don't.
You can't put your money on that.
I have not seen anybody who can put his money on that APC can win election in Anambra. But nothing is impossible in politics because there's a problem in Africa now, which may push I think if they're not careful, may push Soludo out of the party. Because the man that won the primary, that the court said is authentic leader of the party, Njoku, suddenly will not give ticket to Soludo. And if he did not give and if he does not give the ticket to Soludo may look for another platform. And I don't know the platform he may go into, but I'm not sure he will venture day or day going to APC and be giving other political consideration from that particular state. But what the point I'm making is that, so I don't see APC winning Anambra next year. This is going to be another off-cycle election. But by and large, if you see this Ondo election, I think from what reaction from civil society organizations and everybody on field that monitored that election, I've not seen anybody putting blames on INEC to it can be better, but they play their rules.
So at least a reasonable extent.
A reasonable extent. So once you do not blame INEC for any election, you understand, and it was people's choice that WGA came manifest. So we can only blame people for why they vote for party A instead of B. And some Nigerians will never agree or will never happy with Americans for voting Trump, right? But yes, they voted for him, and the people have voted. But Agbola said he will go to the court.
And challenge
so we are looking for and challenge. Yes, it's still within his democratic right, I think, to do that one, because election is part of the process. And so the litigation going to court is part of the process. But let's see what I think maybe he has some facts or some information
that we don't have.
That we don't know. We don't have now. We don't have privy to now. So let's see how he's going to plead his case at the tribunal and see the facts he wants to present before we can talk on that one. But as it is now, it's like this where the people of those states said they were going. I think once we did not see much lapses from PDP, once we don't have, I think, cases of ballot snatching or overvoting or those things were not pronounced in that particular election. So with that one, I think we can say it's the choice of people. But I want to alert fears of Nigerians that maybe Nigeria will become one party. No, let me clear something for people. When people talking one party, as a political scientist, is essentially when I think the law, senior in Cuba, in some other leftist country in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, where you have only one party. So it's created by the law, right? So, and the law in Nigeria does not in any way, at least says it's recognizing one party, let's say the jury. But de facto, in the account, okay, we are talking of after of one party. If one particular party continues to dominate political space from local government to state, yes, there must be reasons to concern, But if you don't want it, we all have options, right? So, but can you blame the ruling party, in all honesty, for shenanigans going on in PDP or in Labour Party or currently now in NNPP, right? So can you now say that if those elements, if those principal actors refuse to bury their personal interest for collective goal, I'm afraid what's going to happen in the subsequent elections, right? But it is a normal thing for human beings. So if I continue for many years, Brazil won, I think, Mundial went with the cup for 3 or 4 years consecutively, right? So until countries like Argentina and co begin to challenge them, you understand? So if you allow them, they will continue to win it up to now, if they allow them, right? But when others went back, at least they put their acts together, study how they have been doing it, came out with a better strategy to win. You understand? When last the Brazil at least won, I think they won the World Cup You understand? But the point I'm making is that let the opposition party put their acts together. Let them bury their selfish interest to rescue democracy. Because it's quite unfortunate the way things are going. We would have loved to see PDP giving APC
a run for
their money in the Ndo election. We would have loved to see PDP governors, PDP leaders coming together for a big fight. But where were they? So they are fighting, which camp is Agbola? Is it with Wike or with Atiku? So when the man was trying to play neutral, you understand? Now he didn't want to belong to both now. But then it was deserted by both Wike and Atiku group. So it was kind of fortunate for him. Right? It was trying to play safe. Well, I want to be neutral. Right? I belong to PDP. So I belong to PDP. But even when you say belong to PDP, you can say maybe it's Atiku is the leader now. Did he show up? And what kind of level of support did he give him? So the man will be somewhere national state, and maybe if he has gone with a Wike, maybe it would have been better for him. Or if I peacefully declared for Atiku, maybe governors and the NWC members, if the vote Atiku, maybe they will have come to his aid. No, but that's politics. So, but Nigeria should not be afraid that of one party. So, let me tell you something. What people don't know is that when we are having 2027 election, let them come to APC, no problem. You understand? There will be implosion there. I don't know what be. So the more they rush to APC, the more the chances of APC remaining a united party is diminishing. Because all those things a united party for 2027 with no interest that will play up. No, there's no problem about that. But once the constitution does not forbid other parties from existing, I think Nigerians will bounce back and there will be, I hope there will be competitive, I think, election where people's votes will count and we are going to have a change. Because the excess of democracy is change. And whether we like it or not, people might speak on their preferences. You can see American election just else, right? They had 4 years of
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, and they're going back to Republican now. And that does not mean that the next 4 years they will not go back to
Democrats. Exactly. I mean, they came into the Democrats from the Republicans.
So that's it. So I think when you study the leader, you understand, the maximum you have to stand for the fight is 20 years. Another one will come, and now they will take over. That's the essence of democracy. So it's only in Nigeria or in Africa you see a party governing for 50 years, 30 years, 40 years. So I think that's not democracy. Forget anything, forget whatever we are trying to rationalize it. Even in Britain, have you seen a party just there for more than 16 years? You understand? That's it. But because whether we like it or not, change is the essence of democracy. Alternatives. Now, brother, if your wife is preparing pounded yam for you every day, one day you say, please, I want to drink garri. That is life. That is life. But that's why we have not really started fully. When I'm talking about real democracy, how will a party be governing a state indefinitely? How will a party be governing a country indefinitely? But I have no fear on this matter. We were here when PDP was telling us that we are going to go on for 60 years. Right? So where are they today? That once the Constitution allows multiple parties to play this game, one day we will have political actors, you understand, that will not place their selfish interest above collective interest. And play viable opposition and give the ruling party, I think, a run for their money. Well, I think 2027 is coming, and let's wait and see.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Miwademi. You've broken everything down for us because I remember in 2019, I went into the general election with over 70 political parties in Nigeria. At the last election
Yes.
in 2023, we went to just 18. And you look at the pattern of these elections. At the last presidential election, the Labour Party had over 6 million votes for the presidential election. They won quite a few senatorial seats. They won quite a large number of House of Reps seats. In fact, you're surprised that Labour Party, were almost pushing neck to neck with the PDP until some vote from a certain region of the country came in. They have House of Reps members in Lagos. They have a senator in Abuja. They have a governor in the southeast in Alex Oti in Abia State. But look at the pattern of elections since after the presidential election. What was the performance of the Labour Party in the off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa last year? What was the performance of the Labour Party in the Edo election? What was the performance of the Labour Party in the Ondo election? That's why I brought up that conversation. Like, if the PDP is not playing a proper opposition party that they should play, it's been one problem or the other. I watched ᴘᴏʟɪᴜ show me on national TV yesterday and was talking about the fact that Wike shouldn't have picked up an appointment in the APC is been disruptive of the activities of the PDP. There's been one problem or the other. If they're not suspending Debolo Gwagba today, they're suspending Danagum tomorrow. It's just been one issue to the other. And look at what is happening in Labour Party as well. If it is not the national chairman issue today, there's a court today. If it is not Julius Abure today, there's Lamida Papa tomorrow. There's just been a whole lot of issues, and it seems the opposition that are supposed to play a key role in strengthening our democracy and not even be able to put their house in order. That was why I asked that question, and I'm glad you were able to bring in some clarifications to that.
Yes.
Now let's make a quick stop across the border. Let's ask what is going on in Finland. Remember last year, there was a report that Sɪᴛᴜ Ekpa, the man that declared himself the leader of the Biafra after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, was reportedly arrested in Finland, in Latsi, exactly where he was staying. There were interrogations, it was detained briefly, it was released eventually, but today, the news got out that he's been arrested and is being charged on terrorism. Do you want to take us into that conversation before we start breaking down in principles? Because you would ask, why is it that we still have the clamor that Britain wanted to exit the EU? There was a proper referendum. The general population voted for Brexit. But when they started breaking it down, they found out that Scotland voted to remain in the EU. They voted to stay. People have rights to belong and to move away. Why are we still having issues like this? If you look at what is going to happen, this is not me being pessimistic, but I know across the country, outside of the country, to spend money and spend quality time with their families, but with the spread of insecurity and kidnappings and killing in the southeast, it looks like it's going to be a problem. Non-state actors have constantly upheld the sit-at-home order and make sure that nothing happens on Mondays in some of the southeast states. In states where there are democratically elected governors, where are we, and how significant is the arrest of Sɪᴛᴜ Ekpa in putting some lasting solution to what is happening in the southeast?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Well, when we read a report today that Sɪᴛᴜ Ekpa has been arrested, I think, but let me tell you, he was charged, I think, for terrorism. And there was specifically that, I think, sponsored terrorism in Nigeria, and the 3 other people arrested along with him are those ones that were sponsoring terrorism. All right. And, if you look at it, you remember that Nigerian government, I think, have raised a diplomatic issue with Finland over the matter. I think, but we thought that country would not take action. But we don't know as at now. But at least the Nigerian government pressed.
This is a
Yes, I think to make the government of Finland
to act.
at least to take this to act. Now, I think we maybe if it's found culpable by the courts of Finland, it might be extradited to Nigeria to come and face the charges. But if not, there's something we can say now on that. But the issue here is that Samuel Ekpa declared himself as the Prime Minister of
Biafra
the Republic of
Biafra
Republic. Yeah. And then declaring himself Prime Minister, well, we can say anybody has the right to say anything. Don't understand. But he's not here, and we don't know his territory. But with the kind of influence he is commanding, especially in Anambra and some Southeast states, where he just declare every Monday almost ungovernable that people cannot go to their offices. So people cannot go to their offices and work. It's another thing entirely. But the question is why we are waiting for what's going to happen. Whether we extradited or we just face the charges in Finland and face the music over there. The demands for cessation is still growing in Nigeria. It remains unabated. And I know that somebody also in the group being led by Mrs. Abiola Onitiri of their own Yoruba nation have also declared himself as the president of the Yoruba nation. But the impact of those people are not being set for some reasons. And that's why maybe he has not been declared wanted, as far as I'm concerned. Though the government it was his group that went to Oyo State Parliament. I don't know how. Okay. Professor Banji Akintoye in Nigeria, Southwest also, has not returned to Nigeria to pull out of the country. So if Ekpa are singing the same song, then nothing stops Nigerian government for looking critically and seriously at various demands these people are making and do everything to resolve the crisis. Because we might say when Ukraine, when they started this agitation about 20 years ago, it was like, no, don't worry, people didn't take them serious. But now, we are all experiencing what is going on between Russia and Ukraine. So, this matter must be looked beyond the way the Nigerian government is looking at it. If individuals can be shutting down business activities of 5 states in Nigeria, belonging to a particular region, where they have the governors, where they have the commissioner of police, where they have the military balance cantonment in all these 5 states, where you have all the security apparatus, and yet a text message or a tweet call for everybody in that region to obey. I don't know how people of Southeast will react to the arrest of Ekpa. I don't know. But the way they were reacting to who was looking something we all know. But on this one, as it is now, if he has, but some of them denied him that no, and he was not popular. The interest don't believe in him. We are going to see. A clamping intention will not stop the agitation. I'm telling you the truth. Because by the time you say you are clamping, Yusufu was not killed. The man who started Boko Haram.
Maybe we will not.
But because the guy was killed, and there's nobody to negotiate with.
Everybody
so we have deadlier. So yes, so we have deadlier groups coming out from uncontrolled. So I think my advice is that I think we need to be careful. Let the opinion leaders of these regions talk to their people. Let them make them reason why it's not good for anybody to drop the bit of war. Because if it happens, you don't know. Yoruba will say we all know we know the beginning of a war.
But we don't always lead
but
to
you
know
cannot predict. You cannot predict, I think, how it will go, who will be the casualties, and I think who will not. You cannot predict. But it is a clear call, I think, through this program that I think the opinion leaders, the ethnic leaders we have in the country, I think Nigeria is having many problems. So that to face this one again, but I hope somebody somewhere, I think is listening to us, and they will look into some of those things those guys are talking about. But I'm sure all attention will focus, especially from the southeast, on how ECPA will be treated. The consequence of it will be difficult for me to predict.
It's going to be a bit difficult. But let's see how it goes. He's always boasted of the fact that, nobody can arrest him. There's nothing the Nigerian government is used some interestingly, wrong words as names, called the country zoo. He said a whole lot. And my friend I was monitoring the arraignment earlier today told me that some of his activities were, shown on large screen in court. Probably before the end of today, we get more, on that. But you raised a key issue. You listed names of people that have been agitating for, for breakaway from the country. You talked about Sunday Igboho. We knew all of the issues that happened. You talked about ᴜᴜᴜ as well. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still, facing his own issues. Now there's Simon Ekpa that has stayed in Finland. He has constantly, raised of the a national address. Addressed the national press, declaring herself the president. Significantly, Mr. Muyiwa, are we having more of these voices because we've not attended to the earlier ones that have been speaking?
Certainly, we're having more of these voices, not because we are not attending to earlier ones that are speaking, because the situation in the country is permitting.
This is a demonstration.
Hello?
I'm with you.
Not because we not attended to the previous ones, right? No. It's simply because the situation in the country has not been addressed to assuage the feelings. These people are not just calling for this, they have their demands, no matter how frivolous it might look. I think when this country, when I think the Niger Delta boys made the country ungovernable for this country, you could still remember. Do you know that by the time Obasanjo left office, Nigeria could barely meet, I think, 1/4 of his OPEC quota, because the boys are taking over. I think that the Nigeria nearly produce oil, but instead of throwing the line, Obasanjo took. Yar'Adua called, I think, for kind of a better way to dialogue with those boys. We thought, I think they will never sit down for negotiation. But with the genuineness and approach of late President Yar'Adua, they listened to him. And there was calm in Niger Delta, and there is still calm in Niger Delta up to now. So this matter was resolved through dialogue, not by killing them every day as they were doing before. So we knew it, how it happened there. Now, if some people in the Southeast are also demanding for one thing or the other, it behoves all the Nigerian government to sit down with the opinion leaders, with everybody that matters, and come out with solution, practical solution to their agitation. And that is my position. And then let me tell you something. If they said they want to leave Nigeria, so be it. Let's have a referendum. If there is a referendum in the Southeast and they got majority. So I think, but by the time you continue on this crisis, well, please, in Europe, in other countries, people are tasking their brain to solve various problems, economic from China, from America every day. But here in Nigeria, what we begin to hear is all these kind of distractions. Would any foreign investor be hearing all these news every day and wants to put money in Nigeria? So in a country that is like, once you have visa and passport now, it's like escaping from here. So what I'm saying is that there's nothing negotiation dialogue cannot achieve. Let there be negotiation. Let there be dialogue. It has happened before. Even when Nigeria went on civil war, they still came back to sit on the negotiation table and resolved it. That's what ended it. Not what ended it. It was the reason that ended it. So, and then now people will now begin to ask again that if Aᴅᴇɪᴇᴍɪ, that the declared Democratic Republic of Yoruba, I think is still in America or Britain, so have they extradited him? No? Those are the questions people will need to ask again. Professor 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐒𝐴ᴜ. If Professor 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐒𝐴ᜑ that also
pushed for Yoruba nation agitation.
For Yoruba nation, and we understand, you see the Republic and wherever, has it been extradited?
Mr. Miwa, yes? I'm going to have to hold your thoughts now because we're due for break rather. I just lost track of time. We need to quickly pay some bills at 5, but a few minutes after then, I would call you back so that we'll wrap up this conversation if you don't mind.
No problem.
Thank you very much. I'll call you back very soon. Okay. We're still having a conversation, but we need to pay some bills. It's 5 o'clock. It's mainland 98.3 FM. It is the Situation Room. And my guest had been Mr. Miwa Adeyemi, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. Started off with the wrap-up of, the governorship election in Ondo State last week, Saturday, and the decision of the PDP candidates to challenge the results in court. We also are currently looking at the issue of agitations, for self, independence. We look at the report of the man that declared himself as the president of Biafra in diaspora, Simon Ekpa, was reportedly arrested in the early hours of today in Finland. And he's also been linked with sponsoring of terrorism, money laundering, and a host of other things. But I'm sure before the end of today, you get more of that information. But by 5:30, you have to keep your dial logged on Mainland FM to listen to the news. But let's quickly pay some bills.
Get ready for the ultimate Christmas program on the airwaves of your favorite dial, Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. The Nativity of Christ will be foretold in music and singing by some of the best voices in the city of Lagos metropolis. It is a special edition of Time Out with the Masters, your favorite entertaining program bringing the festivities to your homes in a grand style. For sponsorship and advert placement, please send a mail to info@mainlandfm.com or call Rioja on 0803 739 8724.
Time Out with the Masters Christmas Carol Concert, where music lives.
Every 6 shares I hold, I get one more.
What are you doing?
I am counting the numbers I get from over 5 billion shares. FBN Holdings is giving existing shareholders the chance to buy more shares at 25 naira each. This means that you can get one new one for every 6 you own. Don't miss out. Own a share of tomorrow with FBN Holdings rights issue. The offer opens from the 4th November to 12th December 2024. Visit your stockbroker or any First Bank branch to get started. You can also access the offer directly on your First mobile banking app. FBN Holdings. Own your share of tomorrow.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 naira airtime and 2,000 naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack.
Series from MTN. Enjoy over 10 hours of YouTube streaming for just YouTube, made for you.
àti pé fún ìdíkò fún àwọn tó jẹ́ onípín ìdíkò wọn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ èyí dá sí pé àwọn tó ti ní ìpín wọn lọ́wọ́ báyìí ní àǹfààní láti ní ìpín kan sí lórí ìpín mẹ́fà tí wọ́n ti ní ìpín ọjọ́ ìkòwò rẹ tàbí ẹ̀ka ilé ìfowópamọ́ First Bank. Bákan náà ni o lè ra ìpín rẹ lórí First Mobile app rẹ. FBN Holding ní ìpín nínú ọjọ́ ọ̀la.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 naira airtime and 2,000 naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions.
Get ready for the ultimate Christmas program on the airwaves of your favorite dial, Mainland 98 pointers in the city of Lagos metropolis. To your homes in a grand 03 739.
The sound of Lagos. 30 p.m. about
these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 𝐴̀okpeyemi as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you, roommates, as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much for staying with us. By 5:30, the treatment that the Libyan Football Federation decided to, run on Nigerians, the Super Eagles were kept at the airport for almost 24 hours, and then the cheaters of Benin, have come out to complain. The goalkeeper of this Benin Republic also qualified for the next AFCON. We'll talk about all of that on the show today by 6 o'clock on Sports Cruise. Why is it difficult for CAF to, impose sanctions or, also give a countdown at 6 o'clock? Mr. Miwadi.
Then there are few of Nigeria nation, and I think I've not, been, on the Yoruba people, of course. This very guy, they try to understand, speaking for them. Not the right to, and the realities we see EPA doing in the southeast. And I see, the last one that happened in that very funny to an extent.
Question, listen to what you want. Stop. The destruction and demolition of military. Stop. At what point do you think the federal government of Nigeria is it negotiate, or they should allow them to have a referendum? Because I have a lot of friends. In fact, some of my best friends are actually from the southeast. I would always have conversation around how things should be done properly. What angle do you think the
give us listen to them and let the negotiation begins? Can this kind of simple person going to take EPA or whatever? None of them can singularly take arms against Nigeria. It's not possible. This is a big country. So, but what I'm saying that let the negotiation begins. Number one. Number two. There's nothing that if Nigeria is operating through federalism, some of the issues we are talking here will not be an issue. Abuja has been too powerful. The center has been so powerful that everybody wanted to have a taste of that power in Abuja. If you make Abuja what's supposed to be, do you know the northern region that nobody wants to go there? So that is the leader of the party, the leader of everything.
Is a demonstration of
the same thing to Aᴜᴜᴜ. Aᴜᴜᴜ has been so Southwest too big and important for him to leave that time. That's why he sent Akíntọ́lá to go and do that at that time when he became premier. So what I'm saying is that let's up 10% to the federal. Not now that the federal, I have this all in my compound, who from the Niger Delta, especially the acid rain, fall on their roofing sheets. In 2-3 years, no matter how strong you roof the house, you have to change it. And they are not getting anything from the oil companies. They didn't employ some of their children. They didn't give them contract. But the only one now go to federal pool, where even Kano and some things that never as much is benefiting more from them. But yet I changed my roofing sheet. So I cannot most times spread my white clothes outside because of the gas flaring and you see that 24 hours there. The water cannot produce, give it fruits again. I cannot plant because of pollution. And then we are not. Somebody that never suffered this is sharing the money. More than me. You understand? So those are the contradictions that is breeding some of these agitations. Yeah, that's it. So if a state is strong enough, people will fight for the resources of their states, not taking arms against Nigeria. They want to see how they manage the resources in their state, because they know that that's what belongs to them in their state. You see the debate going on in the National Assembly now over this tax reform bill simply because of the revision in it, saying that if you don't consume beer, you don't share part of the consumption of beer. So that was the reason we are having all this about it, because of the remove derivation from this tax reform bill. That will be done again. That's right. So that's the kind of contradictions that is affecting the Nigerian state. But what we are saying, South is you have issues with the country. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. But it's what we can sit down and find solution to, because we are human beings. We are not animals. Nigeria cannot continue with this distraction. This is a distraction. As far as I'm concerned, it's a distraction. But there is no, and the Russia will be resolved on the table. Back it down. Whatever is happening now in the Middle East, whether Hezbollah, whatever wanted Israel to be where they are or not, or whether you want Tel Aviv to be the capital of Jerusalem, one day they will sit down on the table and resolve it. That's why we are human beings. So, arrest of EPA cannot solve the problem, but if not well handled, it can escalate the matter.
I really hope it doesn't escalate the issue, because Simon Ekpa goes upon videos. Mr. Miwademi, I need to be employed to go challenge the outcome of that election in court. We also spent quite a lot of time on discussing the arrest of Simon Ekpa today, and the man that had declared himself the president of the IPOB since the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It was arrested